Yes. So arrange a blanket with two folded. I have arranged bedsheet, two bedsheet. Blanket will also work out, or else you can have two bedsheets in folded condition, right? Like this you arrange. This is for increasing the height, or else if you are having some soft seat means that also will work out, just to increase the seat height. Okay. So arrange two bed sheets or a blanket with double folded. And one block. I am having this sponge block, or else you can arrange a books or any heighted area or bricks type any substance. It should be in square block or having a height of near about 100 mm. Okay, arrange a block so that you can keep your palm over it. Okay, I will give 2 minutes so that you can have this arrangement. We will wait for 2 minutes. Once you have arranged your these arrangements, please acknowledge me so that we can start. Everybody arranged? The arrangement is going on, I think so. All right. So hopefully everybody might have got a very good week last week. And we have covered some 16 yoga postures covering for or to get rid of this obesity problem or how to have a fat burning process. All right. So somebody from the group has recommended or has requested for this stress relief. As I have stated earlier, that yoga postures are not meant for a single element, for solving a single element in the body. Yogas are meant for multi-purpose. Okay. So as I've said, there is no side effects in yoga. Rather, you will be having side benefits in the yoga. So if you are doing one posture in yoga, you can consider that you will be benefited in multi-terms. Okay. So in multi-terms, you will be having the benefits. And in future also, you will come across the yoga postures that is being repeated for many ailments, for solving many ailments in the body. For example, if you are doing some yoga postures for obesity, for coming out of obesity or fatness, you will be finding that yoga posture in stress relief. You will be finding that yoga posture in immune boosting of the immune system, or other systems also. So particular yoga postures, yoga is not structured for attending or for aiming a single element in the body. Okay. So today, as per the request, we have some 5 postures for this stress relieving. Anyway, if somebody has told that, a very great person has told that what's on your body is in your mind. If your body is not perfect, if your body is not in the right posture or in the right structure, then the same will be reflecting on your mind also. If you will be that fat or you're having that obesity in the body, then that obesity will be in your mind also. So that will be inculcating in your mind. That will not let you to live a comfortable life. Okay. So whenever you are doing yoga, whenever you are stretching your body, that means you are stretching from internally. You are letting your organs free. The moment the organs are becoming free, ultimately it will ultimately that will reflect in your mind also. Okay. So with this, today we will be doing 5 yoga postures for having stress relief. And before to that, we will be having 3 common pranayams. Pranayams, Anulom Vilom, and then Agnisar, and then Kapal Bharti. Just a minute. Okay, fine. And then Kapal Bharti. And then for stress relief, Sukhasan. For stress relief, we'll be doing Sukhasan, then Balasan, and then Paschimottanasana. As I told, some postures will be again repeating Paschimottanasana, then Anand Balasan, and final, but last but not least is Uttanasana. Okay. So with this, we will start our today's yoga session, starting with Anulom Vilom. Have this posture, sit comfortably. Okay. And make sure that when you are sitting and doing yoga, as I'm telling repeatedly in all the sessions, make sure that your spine is straight and you are sitting on the sitting bones. Okay. Your load should be perpendicular to the sitting bones. You should not sit in bending position or in some other position, inclining position. Make sure that always, whenever you are doing yoga, you should be sitting in a straight position. Your spine should be straight, and the load must be on the sitting bone. Okay, that is pelvic bone, bottom of the base of the pelvic bone. Right. So for doing this Anulom Vilom, we will take air from left nostril, block the right nostril, and then we will exhale from the right nostril by blocking the left nostril. Again, doing the same cycle, vice versa. Okay, repeatedly. Am I clear? So with this, we will start Anulom Vilom first of all. With long breaths. Long breaths are the vital part of the yoga. Whatever yoga you are doing, try to take long breaths as much as possible. To confirm that you are taking long breaths, to confirm it, you can have your one of the palm on the belly, so that you can confirm that you are taking long breaths. And if it is not possible, you can put some pressure on the belly also, so that it will help to take long breaths also. Okay. So starting from the left nostril by blocking the right nostril, it should come out. Relieve it from the right nostril, it should go in. Again, inhale, it should come out, and then from the blocking the right nostril, exhale from the left nostril, it should go in. Okay. Why I am every time why I am repeatedly telling, because there will be some newcomers who doesn't know the process. Yoga should be done with the right posture. Okay, with the right process. Otherwise, there is no use of yoga. It will be a waste of time. Okay. So starting. Fine. Like this, you can have 16 to 20 rounds. And if you're comfortable, you can go for 30 to 40 or 50 rounds, as comfortable as you are. You can go, there is no limit. Because we are conducting this session, we're having time limit. So I have limited it to 20 rounds. Okay. You can go for 40 rounds, 50 rounds, not an issue. And with long breaths. Okay. So again, the second cycle. Yes. See, when you are taking long breaths, you might be feeling that relief in your mind, the left side of your mind. Okay. Because that circulatory system has started. That circulatory system of the lymph fluid also has started. Blood circulation started. And the morning time, the fresh oxygen also has gone and it is reaching to the mitochondria of your blood cells. Okay. So that is the purpose of taking long breaths. So if you are taking long breaths means it's very similar to taking very abundance of oxygen to your blood cells. Okay. Yoga is all about making your blood cells reach abundance of oxygen. So the last cycle of Anulom Vilom. Done. So you might have seen that while taking the breaths, I am holding it for 2 to 3 seconds. If you are capable of holding it for 2 to 3 seconds for each consecutive breath, it is well and good. Some people do it in a random fashion. I will advise that don't do it in a random fashion. Have a steady rate. Okay, hold the breath. If you are taking, inhaling means hold it for 2 seconds. And when you are exhaling, then hold it for 2 seconds and again breathe in and hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. That is a good process. That is a steady rate of doing Anulom Vilom. Many people do it in many ways. Okay, lot of manners that people do. Some people it varies. But the right process of doing any yoga posture is the steady rate. As I've told you, if you are doing it in a steady rate, it is yoga. And if you are doing it in a random fashion, it becomes exercise. Or in Hindi, vyayam. Okay. So next is Agni Sar. Agni Sar is about dealing with the largest diaphragm of our body, that is the belly portion. So here we will inhale air as much as possible. Then we will exhale it out with a jerk. Okay, so that we will create a vacuum in the belly. And then we will have this suction mode. Okay, pumping. Then keep on pumping without inhaling. Okay, neither without inhaling or exhaling. Pump up for near about 10 to 12 times, as much as it is possible. Okay, so first inhale. Okay, confirm that you are inhaling as much as possible. Then exhale. It should go to the farthest position as much as possible. Then pump. Okay. Starting. Make both hands free. Keep it on the knees. Okay. And don't be very serious. Have a smile. As I have told, smile is inversely proportional to stress. So yoga you are doing to come out of stress. Whatever yoga you do, it is mainly based to relieve the body from the stress, relieve the organs, internal organs from all the stress. So have a smile. Have 4 to 5 seconds or 10 seconds break. Then again inhale. Okay. For beginners, it will be difficult for doing 8 to 10 times pumping. And slowly, when the time will progress and when the body will attain the flexibility, you will be able to achieve it for 15 to 20 rounds also. Okay. But make sure your spinal is straight. Repeatedly, I am telling, spinal should be straight. Or if you are having back pain or something, you can lean against the wall also. Not an issue. You can lean against the wall and confirm that your back is straight. Okay. Last round. To confirm, I will tell that you can put one of your palm on your belly, that you are inhaling and exhaling properly. Okay. And for those who are having that habit, no need of putting the palm. Okay, the last cycle. Done. Agnisar is a very good pranayam posture. This will not only increase the circulatory system of the lymph fluid in the lymphatic system, but also it will help to improve the bowel movement. Okay, it will help to improve the digestion system also. So it will be having a lot of side benefits, as I have told. One yoga posture having a lot of side benefits. Okay. Now the next yoga posture is what we call about the queen of the yoga, that is Kapalbhati. For Kapalbhati also, make sure that your spinal or vertebral is straight. And you inhale, then exhale out, and keep on exhaling out. Keep on exhaling out without inhaling further more air. Okay, and with jerk, it should go inside as much as possible with jerk. Do it for 15 rounds. Okay, 15 rounds. 15 rounds exhaling process without inhaling. Okay, that also with lot of jerk. It should go inside with a jerk, and don't do it in a random fashion. Maintain the rate. Okay, maintain the tempo rate. It should be in a steady fashion. Okay. See, for first of all, I will show 1 or 2 times. You should do it in the repeated version in the same fashion. This is the rate. Okay. So with this rate, we will proceed. Okay. Done. I may be going for 20 rounds or 22 rounds, not an issue. For those who are able to go to 15 or 16 rounds, that is also not an issue. Slowly, slowly you can gain the pace. You can go it for 40 to 50 rounds also. The more you do the Kapalbhati, the more is good for you. Okay. And don't do it in a random fashion. Some people do it in a random fashion like this. Don't do it in a random fashion. Do it in a steady rate. Have 10 to 15 seconds break. Whatever yoga posture you are doing, have 10 to 15 seconds break, and again you can repeat the posture. Okay. Done. By this time, definitely you might be feeling that pulse rate at the back of your torus. Torus, when I am telling torus, means torus is nothing but the tubular section of your body. Okay. This part, the tubular section of your body is called as torus. Okay. So the back side of your spinal, you might be feeling that pulse rate. You might be feeling that kick. Okay. So this is not about the effect of your yoga, this Kapalbhati. So make your spine straight. Make sure that you are straight. The final round we will be doing. Done. So the basic idea of giving 10 to 15 seconds break is to have an effective yoga posture every round that you are practicing. Okay. Every 3 rounds. Why we are breaking it to 3 rounds? Because it will be overstressed. Whatever yoga you are doing, the body should not be overstressed. Give a break of 10 to 15 seconds so that your organs will be relieved. And then again, you will be going. Because we are telling that we are doing yoga for stress relieving. So it should not be like that. By the end of the yoga posture, your bodies are getting stressed. Okay. So intermittently, you can stress. You can have stress relief postures also. For stress relief postures, you can stretch your legs and you can swing. You can swing both the legs. Or else, the best way is in the sitting posture. Whenever you are doing any yoga posture in sitting posture, the best way to relieve is the butterfly posture. Okay. So whenever you are doing any yoga, make sure that you are having a stress relief, any of the yoga for respiratory system or for immune system or for fat burning, for obesity or for sexual problems, whatever yoga you are following, have a break and release your body. Okay. Take some leisure time. And the basic idea of doing pranayam before any yoga is that to have a good circulatory system or to boost the immune system, lymphatic system, okay, to have a better circulatory system. Then we'll go for yoga. So 2 to 3 times, 2 to 3 sessions, we will go with pranayam, combined with yoga postures. And final day, we will cover all the yoga postures at a single go. Okay. So comfortably you can do this posture. And whenever you are doing this butterfly posture, make sure that both the toes, both of your toes has met each other and hold it with the both the palms. Okay. Close both the feet and make sure that your feet is going to the body. Okay. It is reaching to the body. Make it reach as much as possible to your body. Take it as close as to your body and then start swinging. And while swinging, see that the bottom area, the side area of the calf is reaching to the bottom. It is touching to the floor. If it is not touching to the floor, not an issue. Slowly, the moment your hip joints will become flexible, okay, and the calf muscles will become flexible. So they will come that you will be touching the floor. Okay. So at the beginning, don't try or don't overstress your body. Just relax. So you can relax in sitting posture. This is the relaxed yoga posture. Okay. This yoga posture you can practice many times in a day. Done. So next, today's main practice we will be doing, as I have told for your stress relieving, take these two bed sheets. If you are having a blanket means, make it fold and make it fold into this size. Okay. Make it carpet size for sitting. Put it under your sitting bones. By this time, you might be feeling that after putting blanket or any sitting height, okay, below to your sitting bones or pelvic bones, you might be feeling that heightness, okay, so that your pelvic bone is at a height more than the foot area, okay, the feet. So your feet will be at the bottom, your pelvic bone will be somewhat at the upright position, so that you can feel that upright position and your body will be in a relaxed position, okay. So very comfortable, and keep this block in front of you. It will be needed. So first we will be doing is the first stress relieving is Sukhasana, or you can tell it as ease pose. So the contraindications and cautions for this Sukhasana is those you should not do is those who are having severe leg problem or lower spine problem or sciatica problem, lower spine or sciatica. That is the biological term, what we tell over this area, lower spine or sciatica, and knee problems, those who are having knee problem. Okay. And while doing this, whichever yoga posture you are doing, make sure that your middle part of the portion is not sinking in. Don't sit in this position, or while doing, don't go to this position. Okay. And if it is not possible, if somebody is having that back pain, as I have said, you can lean against a wall. Okay. So starting not to sink from the middle of the body, and while doing this, encourage that this Sukhasana will encourage the upper spine to move inward. Okay. So when the step one, I will tell the step one of Sukhasana. There are 3 steps of Sukhasana. The first step is take the arms overhead. Okay. Take the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers. Interlace like this. Interlace your fingers. Why I am showing it from the side posture? Because the side posture is very important. Interlace your fingers. Okay. Close your palm. That is interlacing your fingers is closing your palms. Close your palm. Interlace your fingers and put it over arms, okay, and turn it upside down like this, and then turn it upside down, okay, turn it upside down. First of all, you see me how I am doing, then we can start doing. Okay. So first of all, sit in this position, make sure that your spine is straight, take both the arms up, okay, interlace your fingers and twist it, make it upside down. This is the first step in Sukhasana, arms overhead, upside down. Okay. Extend the sides of the body. The sides of the body is done. You extend the sides of the body and lift the spine. The moment you are stretching your body and expanding the sides of the body, simultaneously your spine will be lifted. Okay. Try to do, lift the spine. Okay. And with each inhaling, lift the spine, and with each exhaling, just make it free, the spine. Okay. So that oscillation should be there. That stretching and relaxing, stretching and relaxing, stretching and relaxing. So why I am telling to interlace your both the arms, so that the moment you are making it upside down, a stretch will be formed in your forearm. Okay, forearms. So this stretch will help you to pull the side of the body. Okay. It is known as ease pose, but I know it's not that ease. Okay. So make it upside down and stretch. Okay. Extend the sides of the body. With inhaling, lift it, and exhaling, free the spine. And again, inhale, long breaths, then exhale. And in this position, hold it for 30 seconds for beginners. And for those who are having a mid-sized body or flexible body, they can, or a lean body, they can go for 1 minute. Extend as much as possible. And with each extension, inhale and then exhale and let the body free. Okay. This oscillation should be there. Okay. While inhaling, you stretch. While inhaling, you stretch towards the ceiling. While exhaling, just free the body. Let it to come to its original position so that you can have that oscillation in the torso. And slowly, again, come down. Okay. Could you feel that oscillation in the torso of your body? This tubular part of the body, when you are keeping your forearms stretched and palms twisted and you are stretching the body, so your body will be going in this motion, upright position. The spine will be extended towards the ceiling, and then while exhaling, it should come down. So this torso should oscillate. This tubular part of your body, along with the spine, it starts oscillating in this axis. Okay. So this, the benefit will be that whatever tissues or nerves or cells or wiring system that we are having in our body that is running throughout the spinal of our body, those all will get free. Okay, the circulatory system will be boosted up. And ultimately, whatever our target is, whatever our objective is, we will be able to achieve our objective. That is stress relief. Okay. After doing this, you can feel that relief in your back or in your this neck area that is well connected to the mind. And finally, ultimately, you will be having that relief from your brain area. Okay. The second step of doing this Sukhasana is hands on blocks. Okay. For that purpose, I have told that arrange a block. So you need, for this Sukhasana, you need to lean down. You need to lean down and reach to the block. Okay. If you're not having a block, also not an issue. You can fold your forearms like this, bend, and keep your head on the forearms. Okay, on the top of the forearms. Okay. So if you're having a block, means well and good. You can keep both the hands on the block. Okay. And if you're not having any block, you can you can cross your forearms and you can keep your forehead onto the top of the forearm. Okay. So second step, we will be doing the second step of Sukhasana, hands on block or forehead on forearms. Okay. I will be doing like this. Those who are having, those who are not having any block or any height arrangement, they can go for forearms by crossing. Okay. So slowly lean down and reach to the block and go to the farthest position, up to where it is possible. Okay. And see that your leg is straight. And don't bend while you are leaning forward. Don't bend it from the waist. Try to bend it from the hip joint. Okay. Don't try to bend it from the bone in the waist part. Okay. Don't bend your spinal. Rather, you go straightly like this, perpendicularly, bend it through this hip joint. Okay. Like this. Make sure that your spinal is straight. You see, the back should be straight. With this position, start inhaling. While inhaling, let your body lengthen your torso. This tubular part, while inhaling, it should go forward direction. It should go in this direction. And while exhaling, it should come at the back position, okay, to the free position, so that it will oscillate in this position, okay. Oscillate your torso, inhaling this way, exhaling out this way, okay, slightly. That doesn't mean that you will go very forward or very backward, okay. Just slow movement in this tubular part, slow movement. Whenever you are inhaling, you should go a little bit out, and when you are exhaling, you should come a little bit back, okay. Right. And hold in this position for 30 to 1 minute. Those who are comfortable, they can go for 1 minute. Long breaths. When you are inhaling, your body should go a little bit outside, oscillate it a bit out, and when exhaling, come back to your original position. Make free your body. Yes, after we are done, slowly come back to your position by lifting the back from the hip area. Lift it from the pelvic bone. Okay, don't lift it, don't put pressure on your waist. Okay, so this was the second step of Sukhasana, that by putting the hands on the block or on the folded forearms. The third step is the ease pose, the normal Sukhasana. Okay, for normal Sukhasana, fold your palms, okay, or interlace your fingers, whatever it is comfortable for you. Hold your palms, rather it will be comfortable in this position. Hold your palms like namaste, okay, make it in this position and take long breaths, okay, with straight vertical, okay, with straight spine. Repeatedly I am telling, don't sink from the middle of the body. Your spinal should not sink, okay, and keep it in upright position. Expand the arms, expand it, okay, open it as much as possible, and close the palms and keep it near to the chest. Touch it near to the chest. Okay. Open your arms, touch it to the chest, palms will be touching to the chest, and take long breaths. While taking long breaths, you should feel that your shoulder, your collarbone is expanding out. Your collarbones are expanding out, and it is encouraging the upper spine to move inward. When your collarbone is expanding out, your upper spine should go inside. Okay, so it should encourage that your upper spine is moving inward. It is moving inward, and your collarbone is expanding. Okay, in that way, this portion or the muscles that is running from your head to the neck to the shoulders, it will get free in the morning. Okay, so starting, open up your arms, touch the chest with your palms, and long breaths. Your lungs should expand, and again it should contract. When it's expanding, collarbones are expanding, and your upper spine is moving inside. Done? Well, so you can do it for as much as time as you can. As I've told, you can go for 40 to 50 rounds as much as possible, but limiting is because of our limited session. Time is limited. So why you are doing first of all Sukhasana? To have a better stretch in our body, okay? Because morning part, when we are sleeping in the night, our body gets stiff, okay? Maybe lot of muscles get stiff at the neck area, at the shoulder bone, collarbone. So the basic idea of doing this Sukhasana first of all and putting arms overhead is to stretch this part of the body, to stretch all these side parts of the body, so it will have a better stretch. Okay. So moving to the next pose is the Balasana. Bal means a child, or an asana means real, the actual yoga pose. So Balasana is known as in English they tell as child's pose. Okay. So here also we are having contraindications and cautions. So those who are having diarrhea or pregnancy or knee injury, they should not be practicing this posture. Okay. So for this, we need to remove this height. No need of this height anymore. Okay. Come down to the floor and kneel. For this yoga position, like child, they kneel. You also we need to be kneeling and make sure that your toes are closing each other. Okay. And kneel. After kneeling, bend. Again we have to bend. Again we have to lean forward. And we have to extend our hands to the farthest most position as much as possible. I think both the palms should reach to the farthest most position and bend it from the hip part. Okay, don't bend it from the waist part. Bend it from the hip part. And make your forehead reach to the ground. Make your forehead reach to the ground. Be in this position. Okay. And see that. And those who are having knee pain, they can also keep some bedsheets or towel or a light soft material like sponge or anything between the thighs. Okay, between the thighs and the upper side of the calf. In this area, they can put some softer material. Those who are having knee pain. Okay, so bend it from the hip joint and reach to the ground with your forehead. Touch the forehead to the ground. And again, inhale. While inhaling, see that your tubular part of the body is going out, and again it is coming out, coming in. In this way, it should oscillate. Your body should oscillate in this way. Okay. And do it for 1 minute. Okay. Then come back to the straight position. Okay. So this is called as a child's pose. As child, they kneel down and they sleep in this position. So this posture is also named on that pose only, child's pose. So for this, you need to come down on your knee and then make sure that your big toes are together and sit on your heels. Okay, you should be sitting on your heels and then exhale and lay your torso down between your thighs. Okay, lay your hands on the floor alongside your torso. Okay, then 30 seconds for beginners and 1 to 3 minutes for those who are having a flexible body. Okay. So again, one more time we'll do the Balasana and then we'll go to the next asana. Okay. Rest your belly in between the thighs and start inhaling. While inhaling, make sure that your spine is moving a little bit front. Okay. And while exhaling, let it free. Let it come to its original position. That oscillation you should be feeling in your torso. as well as in your spine. And while doing this posture, don't lift your buttocks from your heel. Make sure that your buttocks are on the heel. You should be sitting on the heels. While oscillating, don't lift your body. Oscillate as much as possible and as possible without lifting your sitting posture. Okay, without lifting your buttocks. Long breath. Okay, come back to the original question. Okay, so this was all about Balasana. Okay, now next moving to the next asana is Paschimottanasana. So that we have performed earlier also. For that, you need to spread out your legs and sit in the upright position. Okay, spread out your legs and sit in the upright position. Sit in the upright position. And if you're not able to sit in the upright position by spreading out your legs, lean against the wall, but make sure that your vertebral is straight, your lumbar is straight, or put some lumbar support. And this is also having some contraindications and cautions. For every asana, there are contraindications and cautions. Those who are having asthma, they should not practice. And those who are suffering from diarrhea for the momentary basis, they should not also be practicing this Paschimottanasana. And also with back injury. Those who are having back injury, okay. Those who are having back pain, it is not restricted for them. Those who are having back injury, it is restricted for them. Okay. For this Paschimottanasana, because last session also many people were having confusion. For this Paschimottanasana, the lower belly should touch the thighs. The lower belly, first of all, the lower belly should touch the thighs, then the upper belly, then the ribs, and then the head last. Okay. So slowly you bend first the lower belly, then the upper belly, then the rib bone, and at last the head. Okay. So with each inhalation, you just lift with it after bending, after leaning forward. With each inhalation, just make sure that you are lengthening your torso towards the front, just slightly, and with each exhalation, release a little more so that they will be fully into the forward bend. Okay, that contraction, that oscillation. While inhaling, you should go forward and then backward, forward, backward, in this bend position. Okay, you should be oscillating. The main purpose of this doing is that the spinal and the torso of this body, this tubular portion of the body, should oscillate. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, in the bending position. Okay, in this way, the torso oscillates and lengthens almost imperceptibly with the breath. Okay, so 30 seconds for beginners and 1 minute for those who are having lean body. Okay, so we'll go slowly. And those who are having some pain, they can put something below to the knees, not an issue. They can support the knees at the bottom part. Make sure that you are touching the knees. And those who are not able to touch the toes, you can also confirm it by putting it below your calves. Okay, not an issue. So I will touch the toes because I can touch the toes and then bend. Slowly. Okay, and with each inhalation, try to extend the spine. The moment you are extending the spine, bit forward, the torso will become straight and also the knees will go down. Okay, then long breath, and then exhale, come back, make it free, and again inhale. So slowly your knees will get straight your spinal will also extend. And again come back to the original position. Okay. So can you feel that oscillation? So whenever you are doing inhaling, you should go a little bit out. When you're going a little bit out, your knees will go a little bit down, and slowly, while exhaling, again come back to the original position and let your body quiet rest. Okay. So in this way, oscillating, inhaling and exhaling. So this oscillation will match up. That will make your spine straight, and slowly your knees will also become straight. In this way, you can achieve the oscillation of the toes. Okay. So once again, we will do this to the toes, and those who are not reaching to the toes, they can catch the lower part of the calf, and then slowly bend. First the lower belly, then the upper belly, then the bones, and then finally the head. Then start inhaling. Long breaths. Take as much as possible. Try to take long breaths. While inhaling, you can feel that stretch in your spinal. While exhaling, again, let it free. So in this way, you will achieve the stretch. In this way, you will achieve the flexibility. Then, lot of sweating is there. I don't know whether it is visible to you, but I'm sweating a lot right now. Okay. So again, after doing these 3 yoga poses, you can have that relaxing by this butterfly position. Relax for 15 to 20 seconds in upright position. Okay. Relaxing should also be done in upright position. It will pump up the lymph fluids and also the blood from this groin area, because we are doing yoga posture in a sitting posture, means this posture it should get circulation because we are sitting in that posture for long duration. So intermittently we should relax. So relaxing in this posture by pumping, this will help to pump the fluids from this groin area. Okay. Along with this yogas, also try to take a balanced diet. Okay. Not only with yogas or workout you can achieve the objective, but with the balance. Don't forget about the nutritional addition in your food. Okay, confirm that you are having a nutritional balance in your food. Okay. So the next asana is the Anand Balasana. Anand Balasana, Anand means happy, and Balasana means child, and Asana is the posture. So Anand Balasana is in English you can say it as happy child pose. Okay. Or happy baby pose. So this is also having contraindications and causes. So the contraindications included in this Anand Balasana is those who are pregnant, they should not practice this one. And those who are having knee injury and knee pain are completely different. Those who are having knee injury, pregnancy, and neck injury. Okay, neck injury if you are having, don't go for this asana. Mainly those who are having injury, knee injury, back injury, or the neck injury, they should not practice any asana until and unless they are not getting healed or they are not coming out of that age. Okay. And if it is needed, means support head on a 3-tier folded blanket. Okay. Because in this posture, we have to lay down like baby. The way the babies are happy, you might have seen in childhood, if the babies are happy means they will be in this position. So this position or this yoga posture is done by looking into the child's happy pose. Okay, baby happy pose. So for this, we need to lay down. Lay down. Okay, this way. And bend your knees. Bend your knees to your belly. Okay, and then lift your legs and hold it. Touch your bottom part of the knees with both your hands. So this is the happy child pose. You might have seen these babies when they are happy, they will try to catch. They will play in this position. Okay, they will play in this posture by holding both the toes. If it is possible, you can hold the toes, or you can hold the bottom part of your feet. Okay, and make sure that your knees are straight to the shin area. This is called shin area. So your knees are straight to the shin, and your feet are perpendicular to the floor. Your shin is perpendicular to the floor. The shin is perpendicular to the floor. Your knees are straight to the shin. Okay. In this position, you need to hold it and inhale and exhale. And while inhaling, try to lift your leg and pull out your hands. Okay. That resistance would be there. Resistance means you are pulling out your legs out towards the ceiling and you are pulling down your hands, the feet towards the ground. Okay. So both forces will be there. Counteracting forces will be there. Your legs forces should be towards the ceiling and your pulling force should be towards the ground. Okay. So in this position, inhaling, while inhaling, you throw out, while exhaling, you pull out, pull down. So while inhaling, you can feel that your legs are going out and the load is coming on your forearms. And while exhaling, you can feel that your hands are coming down and your legs are going out. Okay. This posture can be done for 1 to 3 minutes. And those for beginners, you can try for 30 to 40 seconds, or else 1 to 3 minutes. Long breaths. While inhaling, legs should be going out. While exhaling, it should come down. While inhaling, legs out, load on forearms. While exhaling, legs in and shoulders also in. And then slowly come to the lay down position again. Okay, just straight position and swing. Relax. So you see, in the adult area, in the adult age, we are finding so many difficulty in doing this yoga posture. You might be feeling that crunch in your leg, in your calf muscles, as well as your abdominal area. But think about the babies who are enjoying in this posture. So the flexibility they are having is much better than the adult. Okay. So as and when we grow, our muscles get stiff, our muscles get grown up, our muscles get stiff. To have that flexibility, we need to go through such process. Children are enjoying in this process for long durations, for near about 10 to 15 minutes without any pain. But for adults, it is really a pain. Okay, again going for the child posture or happy baby pose. Lift your knees and bend it towards the belly. Okay, it should come towards belly and lift your knees. Touch it. Grip the feet from the base. Okay, make sure that your knees are straight to the vertical to the chin and chin is perpendicular to the floor. Okay, and inhale and exhale. When inhaling, go out. When exhaling, come inside. Long breath. Long breaths are the vital part of the yoga posture. Let it be any yoga postures. Long breaths are the vital part. Make sure that you are taking long breaths. And then come to the straight position. And then again relax. Just swinging your legs. Okay. Now swinging both the feet. Relax. Okay. Now we'll move on to our last yoga posture. Last but not the least is called Uttanasana. Okay. This Uttanasana we will be doing this Uttanasana by standing, and this Uttanasana is also done by Ardha Uttanasana. There is other version of this Uttanasana is Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha means half. So those who can't do it or can't bend completely, for them, those are having knee pains or knee injuries, for them it is known as Ardha Uttanasana. Okay, they can do it in a half posture. That also I will be doing. We will not be doing Ardha Uttanasana. We will be doing Uttanasana. Okay, so Uttanasana means intense. So intense to stretch. Okay, Uttanasana. So intense to stretch. So for this also we are having contraindications and contraindications and cautions. Those who are having only back injury, they need not practice this yoga. Okay, they need not practice this yoga posture. So for this is back injury. For this Uttanasana, you need to stand straight. Okay, and bend your knees or perform. Stand in. First of all, you need to stand in straight position by keeping both the hands on the hips and separate your both the legs. Okay, and then bend slowly. Bend hands on the hips and bend slowly. Exhale and bend forward. Exhale and bend forward. When you are exhaling and bending forward, if possible, you can bring your palms on or fingertips to the front of the feet. Okay, or alongside to the feet. Okay, either to the front side of the feet or alongside of the feet. Then I'm able to touch to the ground. Both the palms. I'm able to touch both the palms to the ground. Okay, and reach your forehead to the knees area as much as possible. Okay, and see that your belly is going between your both the thighs. Between both the thighs. Okay. And inhale and exhale. in this position. Inhale and exhale. When you are inhaling, see that you are stretching your spinal and you are touching the height, your belly, lower part of the belly is touching the thighs, and both your palms are touching the ground. And exhale. This way, you should oscillate. For beginners, it is 30 seconds, and for those who are having the flexibility, they can do it for 1 minute. Okay, then come to the upright position. Okay. So, are you able to do this one, everybody? So, those who are not able to completely bend, for them, it is the Ardha Uttanasana. As I stated earlier, it is Ardha Uttanasana. You can bend to the half of the posture, okay, to the half of the way, and no need of putting the palms on the ground. You can keep both your forearms parallel to the floor, and you can stretch, inhale and exhale by putting your forehead or trying to take the forehead towards the knees. So that is called Ardha Uttanasana, okay. But we are able to stretch, we are able to reach to the knees, so we are stretching. So one more time we will do, and we will conclude with this. So for this, first of all, put both the hands on the hips and start bending. Don't bend from waist, huh? Don't bend from waist, bend from hip bone, from this hip area. From this hip area. Bend from the hip area, make it straight. Then you can bend. Okay. So make your neck straight, spinal also straight, and bend with the hip area. For that, I'm telling both the hands on the hip. Okay, then touch both the palms on the floor and make your forehead reach to the knees. And inhale, while inhaling, try to touch to the knees, while exhaling, come to the oblique position. In this way, you oscillate like a pendulum. Long breaths. Yes. And we're done. And the final is the relaxing mode, that is called Savasana or the cross position. Okay. Cross means as a dead body. Cross means the dead body. That is called Savasana. For Savasana, you need to lay down straight and keep both your palms upside. Okay. Make your palms upside like this and deep breathe. Close your eyes and deep breathe. Be in this position for 30 seconds. Relax. By this posture, you can ensure that all the circulatory systems are aligned and it will be uniform throughout the length of the body. This is just for ensuring a uniform circulation throughout the body. You can feel that relaxation. The moment you are laying down in this position, that is called Savasana, you can feel that relaxation. Okay. So while getting up, while concluding all the yoga poses, or while ending up, make sure that you are lifting your body from one side, from left side, or from the right side. Okay. So this was today's session. We have covered up some near about 5 yoga poses for stress relief, and you can feel that throughout the day. Actually, there are lot more questions. There are more posters also for this stress relief. Near about 15 to 20 posters are there. But why we are doing 5 posters? Because first of all, we need to be oriented in a proper manner. In a proper manner, everybody should be oriented to these yoga posters. Okay. We can do it for a stretch period also, for a stretch session. We can take a stretch session, but there is a time limit because I have to attend the other sessions also, that is offline. This is like a part-time job I'm doing. So at the final session of this stress relief session, okay, maybe after 2 or 3 classes, we will be doing all the yoga poses in a single go as we have done for obesity. So with this, I am done today. And hopefully everybody will be having a healthy weekend. Stay healthy. Try to take nutritional additions to your diet. In that way, you can achieve a balanced diet. Have a good week. Next week we will meet with next yoga postures in the next yoga session. Okay. Till then, bye.
Thank you. So you all must be enjoying the sessions. So post your share your post yoga pics. Okay, take healthy food, take proper rest. Okay, and you should be stress free. That is the main purpose of this session, because if you are going for weight loss and we are following everything and we are in stress, then nothing will work. Okay, so like we have to follow everything. So we are done for today. Have a nice day. Again, we will meet tomorrow for our aerobic session. So have a nice day, girls. So bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.